What up guys, welcome to my crib and welcome to a day in my life as a professional track and field athlete. First thing I do every morning though, I drink a liter of water and I take my doggo on a good mile walk. And then I like to be in a state of mind of thankfulness, thanking God for all the good things that we have in life, because I believe that your mindset is super crucial and super important. Second thing is, I drink protein shake and I head off to my first workout of the day. I got 3 workouts today, so I got a morning prehab routine, I got a track workout in the early afternoon, and then a weight room session in the evening. So this is what it looks like. Come follow me. All right, this is what I've learned from some of the best coaches in the world of how to recover from an injury as fast as possible. Step 1, don't stop moving. Movement is key for health and restoration. If you look at any animal in the wild, if it is injured, it doesn't just sit there and stop moving and let food come to it. It still has to go hunt, so you have to keep moving. 2, your diet, the nutrition you eat. That is telling your body how to heal. It's helping your body heal faster, decreasing inflammation, increasing everything you need to recover and build better tissue. And then 3, last but not least, sleep. Try and sleep consistently 8 to 9 hours a night. Try and schedule a routine so that you're going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. Those are 3 tips for you for being healthy and healing from an injury. Now we're about to head to my prehab routine. I do this every morning before I work out. So this is the first workout of the day. I do this at 9 a.m. every single day. Come check it out.
And how we're programming day to day.
Absolutely.
So what I have for you this morning, we're starting with some general mobility, focusing really on that ground up approach. So starting with some controlled articular rotations, both ankle and hip. Then we're gonna go into our single leg T-spine angels, which is the same thing that we did the other day.
You see this is the ankles first, hips second, T-spine third, in that order from ground up.
Yep, so really just working up the chain. And then we're gonna go into a little bit more stability work. Same thing, working ground up. So anything with SFB, that's short foot bias. So that's working, really keeping that foot down on the ground, that full contact. Yep. And then we're working and challenging through different planes of motion.
I've been having foot problems, so we were working on a short foot and going through some dynamic exercises. Would you call that?
Yeah. I call it more like bringing more people to the party. So the more joints that we have in play, the more prepped his body is and just in general ready he is to do whatever he has to do that day, whether it's on the track, in the weight room, or just general recovery.
That makes sense too, because like from a stationary standpoint, if I'm just doing short foot exercises, that's a lot further away from sprinting on the track.
Yeah, exactly. So everything that we do at any point of stage of rehab, prehab, whatever it may be, we try and be as sport specific as possible and try to keep you dynamic and bouncy and ballistic in all the ways that you can produce force. And that way gives you more results out on the track.
Dynamic, bouncy, and ballistic. You heard it here. Boom, let's go.
Ready?
Time to get it. Honestly, a month ago, I couldn't even hold my straight leg like this.
No.
And let alone move my foot around. So this is huge progress.
That's why you
don't stop moving.
Why do you have him train with the socks off?
So socks, actually, like traditional socks, they're more narrow than your foot. Yeah. So they actually inhibit the foot's ability to move. So that's why a lot of people now use like the toe socks, or they make like specific socks that are not toe socks, but they're wider at the like toe angle. So that way you can actually get really full range in your toes specifically. This is what it looks like when I move my foot on my residual limb. I still have phantom pain and I can still feel it. You can see like this is not connected to my bone. This is connected to a silicone liner that rolls around or rolls over the top of my skin. But you can see I can still work my calf muscle. And right now, I'm going counterclockwise. And this is a calf workout. Just because you have a residual limb does not mean you should skip out on calf day. Yeah.
Leg day is just as important. Actually helps you stay stronger, I think, in the socket, and then when you're sprinting and jumping, I found that I still use my calf. And this is equally as hard.
Yeah, he actually has a lot more movement in his lower leg than most of the BKs that I see. And I think a lot of it has to do with how much he trains both sides, and he doesn't neglect that side.
Never. I actually probably do more on or try to compensate by doing more on my right side.
Yeah. Well, and I've also noticed that like even within single leg exercises, you always start with your right side.
Yeah, I try to.
straight up.
Those are sick pants.
Thanks.
Those are really cool.
Beijing.
Yeah.
So straight up into that knee drive, hip 90 position. Then you're going to internally rotate, yep, and then you're bringing back around. Keep that hip up. When you're back around, I want you to have nice extension and activation of that glute. And then you're coming down, and now you're going backwards. So back, yep, into extension, now external rotation. And bringing that hip around, staying in that high drive, and then down. You're doing 5 each side.
That's that good work.
Yes. This stuff is like, a lot of what this is, a lot of people do like functional range, which essentially that's what this is, because we're taking a joint space and we're moving it all the way through the joint space. But a lot of this too, especially for him, is neural priming.
Yeah.
So it's getting his nerves and his brain to understand what his body's about to go through.
This is also a cool way to increase your mobility and strength. Like my muscles are contracting and on the verge of cramping right now. So I'm increasing range of motion and strength.
Don't lose that hip up.
Oh. This will really show you where you're limited.
Yeah, it will. But it'll also show you how much range of motion gains you get throughout the day. Like if you do this after practice, I guarantee you it'll be 10 times easier. You might be fatigued, but you'll feel like you have more range of motion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How's that feel?
Dude, my glute med wanted to cramp, but good. My glutes fired, hamstrings fired too. Good primer in the morning, no doubt.
Don't let your torso come forward. Yep, tall chest, head to the sky. Woo.
This side is even harder. That is not easy. This would be great for any hurdler.
Yeah.
For sure.
And hurdlers do kind of do this already, like whenever they go on the side of the hurdles and they're bringing their leg up, they're just missing the all the way through. They're using more of that like explosiveness versus controlling.
Also, when we do like hurdle walkovers and stuff, sometimes it's easier to cheat walking around. Where this is like you're keeping me accountable. I'm gonna stay right here, try and go up as high as I can. Like that is as high as I can go. That's high as I can go. So to think that I can go over hurdles this high, but really like staying in good posture, that's mass.
When you can bend your torso, you can get more hip drive.
Oh yeah, and I can change my hips to get this over.
When you can change your center of gravity, that allows you to compensate through movement, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
But now we're breaking it down to foundational level of truly isolating that joint.
All right.
So this is going to go underneath your big toes for some short foot bias. And you're doing 4 ways. You're going anterior reach. Okay, this way. Don't let that big toe come up. Your heel can come up off the ground on this one. Okay, I'm okay with this acting kind of like a first step almost. So you're going to go forward, and then you're going to go out, then you're going straight back, and then last one's that curtsy. Okay.
Towel dispenser just went off.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh.
Okay, so underneath that ball big toe. Yep.
Visitors in here.
Yep, and then I am
going
this way. Okay.
I love this exercise for short foot exercises. This has personally helped me when I get pain on the outside of my foot because I run with a lot of supination. So this helps me feel more comfortable. Dude, that towel machine.
I was like, okay.
That's the AC. It is tough to keep this big toe down.
And this also holds the athlete accountable because once that band snaps and pulls back towards wherever that anchor point is, that means that he lifted up. So it holds them accountable and lets them not cheat. Even though they're elite athletes, sometimes they like to cheat through movements because they're also perfectionists. Yeah, you're perfectionists, right? And you are a perfectionist at actually compensating for your body.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the most fun things about working with guys like Trenton is we take them through really foundational movements and they kind of get a reality check of like, shit, that's hard.
They like humbling us, in other words.
Yeah. You have to have humility in order to succeed in everything.
That's true. So this is like one of those exercises, it's like, this is great for all sports. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be just track and field, but like, you could take a board sport like snowboarding or surfing. Yep. When I'm working my prosthetic side, I'm not working short foot exercises, but I am working on like hip, glute, hamstring control. You have my knee is a stability joint, but my hip is a mobile joint. And so for me, this helps with increased proprioception. Also, you notice I'm bending my knee to lower myself and my hip. So anytime I'm sprinting, same thing, but I'm out of balance. So I feel like this helps a lot with gaining control as any type of power, single leg, like unilateral power athlete. If you're a sprinter, jumper, if you got a prosthetic, I think this is a great exercise to do, especially for like below knee amputees. I'm a below knee amputee, so this one's great.
Hey, Trent, what do you prefer more, working out in complete silence like this with no other athletes, or when you got more athletes in here?
I like working out with a lot of athletes because then it's like it's hyped in here. Sometimes you'll have people like cheering you on during your lifts, like heavy lifts. Also, there's a feeling of like they're hurting, they're sweating, so am I. So misery loves company. So I'm in misery all the time working out. I love it, but it also hurts. So I enjoy with other people, but I think that when it's silent like this is where you hear the voices inside your head, and you have to overcome the fact that nobody's keeping you accountable, nobody's here. So this is more of those like character building moments when it's in silent, in my opinion. So those are the times when it's like no one's watching, but I still want to be in here and I still want to get better.
Now all you're doing from here is heel lifts while keeping that hold. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can walk out a little bit more. So go from like short mid hip to a little bit wider stance.
Yeah, I'm feeling this glute just holding this
Yeah.
in.
So heel lifts, all you're doing is 20 of them, okay? I said all you're doing is 20.
Yeah, right.
The same thing as that like walker rocker concept that we have. Try and get as far up on that ball of your foot that you can. So the more up you're on that ball of the foot, the more that soleus is going to be going through, and the more that arch is going to be active too.
Yeah, this is hard just to control it.
All this is 15 pounds, okay? If you want something lighter, so that way you can control a little bit, that's fine. But I want you to have that like challenge of instability with it. So this is gonna be your hip and knee drive. So hip and knee drive is starting on the same side as the kettlebell, whatever this thing is, okay? Straight up. This hand, I want you to keep it on your pelvis. That way, again, we're watching for that cue, that external cue of you dropping or lifting. Okay, so right here, active toe through, and now you're just doing a nice little rack and press.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's all you're doing.
That's all I'm doing, as if it's super easy.
You're doing 10 of these on each side. Again, slow and controlled.
Yep. Short foot.
Drive. Yep. Now clean. Yep. Good.
Beach season. Get the biceps in here, the foot, the hip flexor, the glute. That's great. Even some core.
So we can challenge him more through single leg movements with overhead drivers. So again, this is adding another dynamic movement for him, which is actually very sport specific, because whenever he jumps, he's in this position. So he explodes up through every single part of his body in order to actually explode out. Is it intentional for them, and isn't it intentional in the way that the body works and the energy systems work together? Like, I don't want to put him at a deficit, especially since he comes in the mornings. I don't want him to go to practice and feel shitty.
Yeah.
I want him to go to practice and feel primed and ready to go.
And that's the purpose of the prehab.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is a lot of this stuff too is stuff that he can start pulling and saying, like, I really liked this one, I didn't like that one so much. This one felt really beneficial for me. And he can create his own little prehab program that he can use while he's on the road when he doesn't have his people around him. So that way he can still feel good even though he's not in his natural element.
Yeah. I think that what Lauren's talking about is like having ownership as the athlete. You're the captain of your ship, and when you have great people like Lauren, some other coaches as well, like you want to be able to collaborate with them and talk to them how you feel, what you think and stuff, and then get their advice and their insight, because sometimes we'll be like, okay, let's take an exercise out, or hey, we actually got to hit this a little more because this is what we're accomplishing. So it's good to have that relationship with your coaches. And if you're an amputee, doing this stuff, have a hard time balancing without a dowel, use a dowel. My right leg is burning right now. My glute is burning right now. So just a simple dowel, can help you. You can even use a broomstick.
Broomstick, a wall.
Yeah.
Walls will be your best friend too.
Yep.
And walls, you can change your angle, so you can change the amount of load and also the plane of motion that you're moving in. Reverse flies. So you're doing 10 of these. Yep. A little bit slower on those flies. There you go.
Now this feels good.
Good. Yep. And then if you challenge yourself more with a little bit more hip hinge, now you're gonna get a little more length in that posterior chain. Yep, good.
Nice. Arms are pumped.
Okay, you're on your last exercise.
Let's go. We're doing great. Yeah.
So last one you're doing, again, this is more priming for power and speed, but it's still gonna be a form of ISO. So I'm actually gonna have you come to GHD, but this will give you the most stability. So you're going single leg, you're having a nice ISO push through your arms, okay? Trying to push yourself off the box almost, but you're not actually gonna leave contact with the box, while you're creating force and power through your foot.
Okay.
Okay? Ground force reaction is where we're at, and that's where your body will be happiest. So through your foot, up on the balls of your feet, okay? In nice triple extension position. So I want to see extension of ankle, knee, and hip. Okay? You're doing drive, hold for 5 seconds, down and back up. Okay? Quick and explode. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good. So in this, every time he comes down, so go ahead and come down, he's producing power straight through this like midfoot area. And that way, we have a nice power differential between his top half of his body and his bottom half of his body. And this is really like the most like ideal way to create power, because if you're flat-footed, you're gonna be slow.
Woo!
Trent, how you feeling?
Good. My calf and my glute is burning.
And on prosthetic side, he already gets a little bit of like extra proprioception because he bounces, and he can't necessarily control that bounce. So now what he has of his calf is actually working harder because it's having that like external feedback.
I'm flexing my calf too in my socket. Like when I'm pushing down, just like I would on this side. On this side, I'm flexing core, I'm pushing also through my quads, but I'm pushing also through my residual limb. Oh.
Good. That's it.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a wrap for the first workout. Here's 3 things that every athlete should do before and or after their workouts. Foam roll. Foam rolling is super important because for me, it provides a feedback to scan my body, see how my back is feeling, see how my glutes are feeling, you know, check them out, see how my hamstrings are feeling, my T-band, quads, adductors. But if I find a spot that's really tight, like right here, then I'm just gonna keep rolling through it until it releases. Hip distractions. Hip distractions are great for any athlete that has hip impingement or has tight hips. This is going to help pull the hip out of the capsule, get some more fluid in there, some more spacing, and free everything up on my left cheek. Ankle mobs. You could start off right here, just pushing your knee through your first and second metatarsals, and then if you want to get a little more dynamic, go into a nice lunge, keeping the heel on the ground and just moving back and forth through the ankle. Next one is dynamic mobility. This is a great one called the world's greatest stretch. First thing is get in a lunge position like this. Forearm goes to the ground, hand down after that, windmill up. And then I like to repeat on the opposite side too. And then we're gonna go back, floss the hamstring. So we just got a hip flexor stretch on the left side, hamstring on the right side, and then boom, go forward, repeat the process. Feeling this stretch right here. If you need to, hang out, then forearm, windmill, windmill, and back to a hamstring stretch. Just finished my morning workout. It was quick, easy. I got the blood flowing. So right now I feel even like stimulated mentally. Now I'm about to go do a speech with Allianz, and this is what it looks like in the day of a professional athlete that also has a part-time job. Oh dude, check out this caterpillar. Oh man. Well, actually I didn't have breakfast this morning, so this works.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good, I'm excited. I can't believe this is the last one. Guys, have a great Christmas. Have a happy new year. God bless you all. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trenton.
Thank you, Trenton.
Really appreciate having you here.
All right, I just finished with my speech with Allianz. Now I got a track workout. It's time to get focused, get my body right, and then do some sprints. People ask me all the time, how does my running leg stay on? I use a sleeve and a suction socket. Throw the sleeve on. Put my leg in, roll the sleeve up, all the air comes out of this bottom one-way valve right here, so it lets all the air out, but not back in. That's how it stays on.
Out good?
Yeah, went good. I feel like this is one of my best days so far. Made huge progress from before, so super thankful. Always be thankful for where you're at. Remind yourself where you came from. People ask me what's different about my sprint leg from every other leg I own. Well, you can see here, the toe is curved up, so when I'm in my acceleration and drive phase, I get more ground contact to push off of, and when I transition them up tall, I still got a nice sweet spot to run real fast. Heater. All right, am I a single amputee? Yeah. How long can I stand on my stump? Well, I don't stand on my stump because then I wouldn't be wearing a leg. And your example with the shower, I'm balancing on my left foot like this, and I got impeccable balance. I can balance all day. It's actually a little bit heavier than I anticipated. People ask me all the time, if I had a choice, would I rather lose an arm or a leg? I may be biased because I'm missing my leg, but I'll tell you what, it'd be a lot harder to do these exercises with one arm. So a leg for me. Common question for amputees is, how do I squat with a prosthetic leg? Well, here's a tip that I would give you. This is a Rogue Fitness slant board. You can also wear the powerlifting or Olympic lifting shoes. But what I do, I like this right here, because anytime I squat without it, you can see I go on my toe, raise my knee higher than that one. If you get on here, watch now as I squat down, it's a lot more even. Still got a great workout, feel a lot, both legs. Try it out. People ask me all the time, what's one exercise that helps you sprint faster and long jump farther? Bicep curls. People ask me, how do I work my prosthetic leg side? I tell them I do the same thing that I do on my biological limb side. All right, just finished my workout. You gotta make sure that after every workout, you guys all stretch. Until next time. Whew, go to sleep.